From UK politics to New York City politics, members of the business community are forming an advisory group to guide mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani if he wins the election in November. OneNYC, an independent expenditure committee backing Mamdani, is organizing that council, and OneNYC chair Yasser Salem joins us now. Thank you so much. Really wonderful to have you in the studio this morning. And look, it's my understanding you formed this council, but you've been having lots of conversations with business leaders. How much of those conversations are just because these business leaders realize that Mamdani is likely to be the mayoral candidate versus actually getting behind him?
You know, I always ask myself when I'm having conversations, what part of the perspective am I getting, or the energy I'm getting back, is ideological? What part of it is principled? What part of it is pragmatic? New Yorkers are, Dani, very pragmatic people. And in that respect, this is the right opportunity now to build partnership, to share perspectives, and to come to the table to co-create solutions.
So what are the things that OneNYC or the business leaders that you've talked to want from Mamdani? Because we know the concerns, we know the fears, but what are the asks?
I think the main sort of framing is, will he be an effective mayor of New York City? Business leaders are concerned about things that all of us are concerned about, actually. They're concerned about the supply of affordable housing. They're concerned about New York City improving its public safety. There's plenty of space with what Zohran has been focused on and what business leaders want.
I think it's fair to say that there are lots of things that universally people can get behind. Things like pre-K and free childcare. The one sticking point for the business community continues to center around housing and a rental freeze, the concern that it means maintenance falls by the wayside and it impairs supply. How flexible would a Mayor Mamdani be to actually not implement that if the business community feedback is one that this is something we can't get behind?
I think that, number one, Mr. Mamdani has been clear that increasing supply of affordable housing is a top priority. He wants to increase it much more so than prior administrations have. And affordable housing is what is important to business leaders. Many business leaders tell me they're not able to retain talent because New York City rent has just gone through the roof. So there's plenty of opportunities to talk about. I wouldn't call it deregulation, I'd call it smart regulation. Let's really understand what are the bottlenecks preventing more supply from getting on the market as soon as possible, and let's help real estate investors and developers make that happen. And Mr. Mamdani has been very clear that is a top priority.
So you're saying there are other ways to do that than simply putting a cap on rent increases, or that he can find other ways to increase supply so that that cap isn't hit?
Yeah, I think that absolutely the win-win situation would be that if we could wave a magic wand, Matt, and have tremendous amount of supply on the market, that would be the win-win scenario. In the short term, economically, that's not possible. We have to get to that point where supply is increasing sufficiently to bring down rents. And so in the short term, when we're all in agreement as business leaders that our people, the people that we employ, not low-income folks only, middle-income, right, they're having a hard time affording rent in New York, it has to be addressed, or we're going to continue losing talent.
Yeah, I think high-income people are having a hard time affording rent in New York.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Right. True.
It is across the board, and I think a lot of people would look to de Blasio, who this was a big part of his platform too, and he froze rents more than one time, but homelessness actually got worse underneath him. What is Mamdani going to do differently than past mayors?
And crime, right?
True.
You go into a CVS or a Duane Reade right now, everything's locked up because they're so afraid of theft.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is the message to say that this is different than administrations past?
I think Mr. Mamdani has consistently looked at the root causes of problems as opposed to addressing them with a Band-Aid on the surface. So his whole public safety plan that incorporates what an officer should be doing and what other specialties should be doing, like mental health workers, right? When we start looking at the problem at the root cause and bringing forward solutions that address those root causes, we will see a safer and more affordable New York City.
Yasser, I look forward to more conversations with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Yasser Salem is the chair of OneNYC, and they're putting together a business council that will advise Zohran Mamdani.